11:02. We'll call the meeting to order of the County Board of Commissions, Finance and Administration Committee. We have approval of the agenda. Does the agenda stand good? Is there any changes or additions,
For me, sir.
deletions? Okay. With that, we'll have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll support that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have an agenda. Do a call to the public. A lot of familiar faces out there, 4 of them. Good morning. Couple behind you. Anybody online?
There is not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Well, we have another opportunity later in the committee meeting, so we'll move on then. The first order of business then is consider approving the prime contract change order number 10 with Clark Construction in the additional net amount of $81,896 and authorize the board chair to sign the same. We have Heidi on to give us a review of what's involved with this change order. Good morning, Heidi.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, our other meeting ran a little longer, so I didn't want a chance driving over and being late. So thanks for allowing me to call in on Zoom. So prime contract change order number 10, that included, when we were doing the road on Remus Road, there we found an undercut, and that cost ended up being $91,557. That was to take out, I believe it was about 20 feet. 228 feet long by 32 feet wide area there that we had to rebuild it up in order to make sure we didn't have any problems later down the road. That was with McGurk. The next cost there was RFI 222, which was, we found some sidewalks that were on the drawings that really didn't lead anywhere by the electrical yard. So we asked the question if it was needed, and come to find out it wasn't. So that was a savings there of $1,200.
Appreciate that very much.
You're welcome. And then we had RFI 230, which was, we all missed it. It was a hollow metal frame back of by area C on the exterior side, or I should say the south side of the project. There was nothing on the door hardware schedule for this frame. And so we all kind of missed it when we were going through everything. And so that was, for that window, was an add of $1,587. And then this last one here, we had an allowance in our foundation contractor, Spence Concrete, that we did not use, and they are complete with their portion of the work. So we deducted that allowance of $10,000. So that's a credit back to the project. So the total cost then for the this prime contract change order is $81,896.
And we're still coming out of the buyout, not contingency at this time.
Correct.
What is the amount left in our buyout amount? For the contingency?
Estimated right now is $276,711. And that also includes anything that is out for quote or anticipated.
Not on that, but Heidi, I noticed in this packet, we have potential change order log. Is that what you're thinking is coming down the road?
Correct. Yes.
Do you want to speak to any of those items, just as a point of reference? So anything there?
Do you want me to go through each line item, or how do you want me to handle that?
Specific, there's the larger ticket items that again may not have, or may have kind of come up unexpectedly, or
Yeah, so on your log that you have there, so under the area that's anticipated, an approximate or estimated. So I'll hit on the big ticket items there. So number 18, which is PCO 18 there, the repeater system. This is something, it's just a placeholder. It's for $382,000. This is something, if once the building is done and we test it and we don't have radio coverage, then we would need to add this into the building. So this is not necessarily that we're going to have to do this work. This is just a placeholder in our budget. So that way we know if this comes up at the end of the project, we have money to cover that. Another big ticket item, go down to line 57 there, it's PCO 57. CCD 18, so that one there is kind of some data changes we added some phones, we deducted some Wi-Fi. We had a lot of it was phones, and just kind of reorganizing everything there that we need to make sure we had the coverage for all the cells for the inmates.
Right.
So that anticipated is about 180,000. That there again, like I said, we kind of estimated that just to make sure we were covered. We should have those drawings this morning, Ed mentioned. So moving down to some other big ticket items, CCD 11. We have some lighting control changes and some ARC study with electrical. Right now we have, we're reviewing this with the lighting control change contractor, but that's anticipated about 185,000 as well. Another big ticket item, CCD 13 there, the food service changes. So we had to move some things around for underground and then also for electrical. So that's where some of those changes came into play. Let's see what else do we have on our list here. I think everything else, I think I hit on all the big ticket items, unless there's anything specific that you'd like me to touch on.
No, thank you, Heidi. That's exactly what I was looking for and what we talked about at our meeting.
Okay,
So thank you.
you're welcome.
So I know a lot of people, our fellow commissioners do watch this. So this will help them better understand exactly what's coming down the road. So thank you.
I want to thank you too. I echo Commissioner Embry's thoughts. You know, we know we have these projects coming on, but when you get them on short term, is a surprise. This way, at least we have some information looking down the road that we can expect for these costs. So we appreciate that. And I also want to comment. I know we've had some minor bumps in the road with coordination between our integrated architecture and Clark in terms of getting updated engineering and specification information and drawing. I did read the memo, and I think this is appreciate the fact that you're communicating and getting this moving forward. And I think it's a good plan, and appreciate you taking the bull by the horn to get this taken care of.
Thank you. I'll let the team know.
Agreed.
And I'll be looking forward to seeing the improvement in communication and the efficiency with which we move along this project. So looking forward to that.
Are there any other questions we have for Heidi on change order?
No.
I will move that we take the consideration of the prime contract change order number 10 with Clark Construction in the net amount of $81,896 to the work session next week.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll move forward. Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We have the project update. We have the Isabella County Sheriff's Office and Correctional Facility Project update. I guess,
Kind of covered it.
okay, we did cover it, didn't we?
That's good, though.
Well, we probably need, that's just a discussion item, right? So we don't
Yes,
have to take an motion there.
Correct.
Our next item is personnel policy changes for part-time employees discussion. What do you have
Okay.
for us, Madam Administrator?
So just to continue the conversation, I feel like when we brought changes, potential changes for new hires, we kind of focused on that conversation. Holidays for new hires, and then the conversation kind of went into part-time, giving those employees holidays. And we just kind of stopped the discussion at that point, and wanted to circle back on just specifically part-time and holidays. As the policy stands approved right now, part-time employees only receive Christmas Day and New Year's Day holidays. So the other 11 and a half holidays that we have they don't get any compensation. You've heard some department heads say, like specifically Commission on Aging comes to mind. They're not a traditional 7-day operation. So when a holiday comes along, their part-timers have to use PTO to enjoy the day paid with their families. So it's different, right? In Parks and Rec, they're 7-day operations. They budget for those folks to work, whether it's a holiday or not. Yes, there's additional compensation if working the actual holiday. So there would be an impact there. But in terms of budgeting, specifically at Commission on Aging and Parks and Rec, the budgetary impact can be absorbed by those budgets. Now, where it takes a bigger impact, I think general fund doesn't take much of an impact. We've got some part-time in registered deeds. We have part-time in facilities. We have a part-time jail cook, correctional facility cook. But the budgetary impact there to general fund would be quite minimal. Part-timers would only receive the holiday if it was a scheduled day that they were actually going to work. And it's not, they would only receive the hours that they're scheduled to work. If they were scheduled to work 4 hours, they wouldn't receive a 7.5-hour holiday. And so it kind of lessens further the impact of it, I think. There was a question specifically, we brought this up at department meeting last week. Specific question about a person working a holiday, but our policy says we observe a holiday. Say the holiday actually occurs on a Saturday, but we observe it on a Friday because that's our policy, right? Because not all of our operations are 7-day operations. But our policy already speaks to if there's 7-day operations, then that employee who's working that holiday, they get holiday pay on the actual holiday, not on our observed 7-day-a-week operations. Kind of changes that, I guess. And that its intent kind of is clear in the policy. And thank you, new Parks Director Alexis Hansen, for pointing that out after our discussion. We were going to circle back with the attorney. Really, I think the answer was already there in policy. So
good.
We can take a look at that. So all I did was go into the personnel manual and look for what would need to change if part-time were granted holidays. There's one more place we should talk about is the MRF. There will be a budgetary impact to the MRF. I think we've estimated about $6,200 a year. So it's manageable. But I will let you know, I've had brief conversations with Director Borton, who, as you know now, he uses those part-time employees to fill in when the full-time are off on their holiday. So now this is going to create a scheduling issue for him. Someone will get 1.5 time for working the holiday, hopefully, but one of his suggestions was maybe closing on the holidays out there. I'm not sure we want that outcome from this good, this policy change. I don't know if we want
Supposed
that.
to be a benefit. It's supposed to be a perk.
And I feel
Take away
like,
a perk.
yes, I feel like maybe the facility is used kind of heavily on those holidays. You're off, so you're taking your recycling out there. Maybe, I don't know.
And I can understand his
More
concern.
conversations.
I can understand his concern that there might be a fight over who gets to work on the holidays because you're getting 1.5 time. Well, okay, so your full timers, if they want to work the holidays, again, pay them the 1.5 time on holidays. They want to work.
And we'll have to.
And
we'll have
I'm
to.
okay with the financial impact of that. To me, it's worth having your regular employees there versus the part-time.
I felt it was important enough to bring. I know during the pandemic, your phones rang off the hook when that facility was closed. So to close the facility for a solution to something isn't the first thing that necessarily comes to my mind. So I just want you to know, at least for Director Borton, approving this is gonna create, something on his side that he may have to bring back to you to consider. Do you want it open? Then we're probably gonna have to fund it a little more to actually pay people to be there, to pay them more to be there on a holiday, as we should. Yeah. So I just wanted to point out those different operations, and it's different across the campus. Really, if you have the policy in front of you, the changes are on pages 12 and 13. Just adding under section F holidays, all regular time and part-time employees who meet the eligibility receive 1 day's pay at their regular straight time rate of pay for the holiday. And then the policy gets into when you work a holiday on the next page. The intent is very clear. It says full-time employees eligible for holiday pay who are required to work on any of the holidays recognized in that prior section. Be paid 7.5 hours straight time for the holiday, 3.5 hours for Good Friday. And here's the new part, and part-time employees eligible for holiday pay who are required to work on any of the holidays recognized shall be paid straight time for the number of hours normally scheduled to work. Employees shall be given the option of time and 1/2 pay for holidays worked or comp time off equal to the period actually worked, calculated, of course, at 1.5 times. Our policy used to give them comp time for the holidays hours worked. We now know you have to give people an option, so we just kind of cleaned that up in there too.
Good.
They have an option of overtime or comp time.
Cash or something.
Yes, the only other change needed was on page 24. That's the part of the section, I'm sorry, that's the section of the manual that gives regular part-time employees in 9A, the Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So we've struck that to read regular part-time employees shall receive holiday pay based upon his, her regularly scheduled hours at their straight time regular rate of pay for all holidays recognized in the section for which they are scheduled to work. That covers it. So if that's your intent, I do believe that's the
Way to go.
language that we
Yeah.
It seems like a reasonable change. And I was just thinking, from my own perspective, I was always looking for the holidays to have a 3-day break, and the money was never a factor to me. So I don't know if that'd be an issue for Jake, but that's something he can work out. And if there's some issue that comes up, look at it again, but
Jake understands the mental health value of holidays and PTO and the like. He understands and supports that. So I think he'll be able to manage it. The board just needs to support him and his choices of how he can manage it, right? And you have to understand this will increase costs because we likely don't want our MRF closed on certain holidays.
I think if you look at the cost to the county versus the potential incentive, both hiring and keeping people, I think it's well worth it, and I'm looking forward to hearing from Madam Director Hanson and from Director Borton and those who have
Director Crawford is on the Zoom, just so you're
Director
aware.
Crawford. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from them if in fact this bears out to be an incentive, a hiring incentive.
Mhm.
Looking forward to hearing their feedback on that. So,
this has also been a learning opportunity. There's been times that I've wanted to go to the MRF and I'm thinking, oh, wait, it's a holiday, it's closed. So now I know I can go.
yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Absolutely. And what a great thing for employees working side by side to have a little, maybe a more level playing field than a haves and a have-nots. And coming back on Tuesday after a 3-day, and when someone else didn't get
Right,
that same
right.
thing, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a nicer feel to it for sure.
definitely equitable. I like it.
Yes.
Well, hi, this is Jen Crawford. I just wanted to speak up quick and just say, I mean, I thank you for even considering this. To me, I don't look at it as much as an incentive for hiring, but as more taking care of the ones that we have. And I think this is just a huge step in that direction. And so I'm just really thankful. And I know that, we have about 16 part-time staff here, and I know that they are all going to just be so thankful for this. So thank you.
Good deal. Good to hear.
Out of those 16, Jen, you've had some part-time staff that have been there for a number of years, right?
Oh my gosh, yes, we have some that have probably been here close to 30 years. About some of our part-time aides. So absolutely.
Nice.
Wow, awesome. Thank you, Director Crawford.
Yes, thank you.
Well, it says a discussion, but is this something
Something
we need to bring forward as for a motion to?
If you are happy with the changes here, then I think that someone could something like move to consider the personnel policy changes for part-time and for granting holidays to part-time employees.
So moved.
I thought I heard you say that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It moves forward.
Well done, gentlemen.
Invoice list discussion.
Wow, this is, I looked at it, I thought it was a typo. Such a small number. I was so excited. It's like, wow, this
Even
is,
together, it's a small number.
I know, I'm like, oh, if only we have more like this.
Oh, so there is no typo. It's actual
No, it's actual-
news.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, no, I didn't mean to insinuate that at all. No, I just think, boy, I'm so used to huge numbers. I really don't want to call anything into question just because I like the total amount.
I don't see anything
I didn't-
here.
I didn't come across that. Didn't seem to be an explanation for me.
It's our normal payments for a lot of agencies or individuals. So
Yeah, between the two,
Yeah, I didn't see anything that's out of the ordinary.
I was gonna say $300,000. For the month. I'm like. Yeah, okay.
we've had the discussion on it and we'll see this next. We don't have to take the motion on it. We'll just see it in our work sessions. Announcements. I do want to just make an announcement that we have economic outlook luncheon coming up. And our Madam Administrator is one of the guest speakers at that luncheon. Is gonna talk about all the things the county's doing that might impact economic development in our county. And I think we've got leaders from just about all the community, Mount Pleasant, Union Township, University. So it's a good way to attend.
No.
Uh,
When is this now?
And I think I'm registered to go, but
Next
find
Tuesday.
out what's going on in the community that you may not be aware of. The only other announcement I would make is as a representative of the Shepherd Chamber of Commerce on the 28th at 5 o'clock, they're going to be closing the street in front of the Shepherd Bar. And if you haven't went to any of the chamber sponsored music events, that's something I would encourage you to go. You could get a pitcher of beer from the bar and there's an enclosed area. You can buy food from vendors. There's no cost for the entertainment. It's all fenced in. You have to bring your own chair, but it is a real hoot. This is dueling pianos and these guys are really good. The only thing I regret is last time my granddaughter volunteered me to go up on the stage and that was the motorcycle guy in the
YMCA thing?
YMCA.
No. Oh, my gosh. Is there a video? Is there a video of that?
I said, I misstated. That was my twin brother, Bob. That was,
Twin brother.
but
Bob.
it was fun and spell it right.
Oh, come on. That is too good, sir.
I think it's on the Facebook someplace.
Okay, I'm looking that up.
I hope I made the county proud. But yeah, if you got the time, I would go and it's a good evening.
Sounds like fun.
Any other announcements?
I didn't know if you wanted to speak to the luncheon we had out at the site.
Yeah, Commissioner Embry hosted a barbecue ribs with all the fixins for the Bravo card winner. Now, Bravo card system is Clark Construction asked for people to submit Bravo cards with information on people that go above and beyond in terms of safety or acknowledging some issues that need to be resolved. And I think there were two close people and the one that ended up on top was Strauss. No, it
Yep.
wasn't Strauss.
Yes, it was. It was
It was
Strauss.
Strauss Masonry.
Yep.
And so
Close
Mr.
second.
Embry hosted this meal and all their staff got to come in at lunch and eat a whole half rack of ribs with corn on the cob, cornbread. I'm trying to think what the other fixings were.
Baked beans, can't forget the baked beans.
The only thing is, he made enough to feed an army and each individual portion was huge. So I took mine home thinking I was gonna snack that night. I got it home, found out my wife hadn't had lunch yet and she took it from me and so that
You
was.
never saw it again, did you?
But it was great and I do wish to thank you on that.
My
Well-
pleasure, sir. It's again, I appreciate the Bravo card system that they have out there in order to keep the site safe for all who work out there. I think it's just a great way to keep people from potentially having an issue out there. So
And for the size of that complex, project and things that are going on, I'm not aware of any major injuries
you
that
know,
have occurred.
safety has been a real priority for
Yep.
them. So
It was a fantastic lunch and a wonderful gesture. Thank you.
yeah, and I appreciate the folks out there. Clark, I mean, you have Willie Mee Walters, who was also invited to that luncheon, and Strauss Brothers. They've been integral, not only in terms of safety, but in terms of their performance out there, trying to keep this project moving along at a good pace. They've really been working hard at it. So I think it was a small gesture on my part to appreciate their efforts. So my
Other
pleasure.
announcements?
Well, I hope they're deserving of a future gesture.
Oh, and just FYI, I don't know if anybody else is on, for the next Bravo card winner, it's going to be my signature Philly cheesesteak sub. So
That's why I hope they're deserving of another gesture.
Sweet.
I will gladly. How do I get on the invite list?
It's nice that you do extend the invitation to staff too, so
Right.
commissioners. So
Mhm.
this time I'll make sure if there's any leftovers, I'll hide them for the wife when I walk in the door.
Yep.
All right, if we don't have any other announcements, we'll do a final call to the public. Karen,
I'm just gonna say thank you for the policy change as far as the part-times for holidays. We have in our office since the nineties, we've had a part-time person on and off. It has been a struggle to get a part-time person in there and a struggle to retain a part-time person. And historically, the only people that stay are people with a family. And if you have a family, it's very hard to make that sacrifice, especially when you get to when we go into Thanksgiving, so you're not paid for those 2 days, and then you roll into Christmas, you get 1 day, and then you get 1 day for the next one, but you still have that day that you're making up. 2 days for Thanksgiving, and that's at the hardest time for a part-time person when they want to save their money for the holidays. They want to spend time with their family, and they either have to do without pay, use all their PTO, or sacrifice that time with their family. And so I think that it's an awesome gift to give those people that they don't have to make those sacrifices.
well, I do want to say that it seems like there's a new atmosphere in the county where we really work together as a team, staff, administration, county board of commissioners. I mean, we're all in the effort to do the best we can for our citizens. And a lot of the credit goes to administration and department heads. And this come out of a department head meeting. We sitting at the board table don't know how we might be able to make minor tweakings of the things that we offer. And this came forward and it was a good idea and it's been adopted. So working together will continue to advance the interests of the citizens and the well-being of our employees.
To tack on to the staff meeting, I know I've been attending them regularly, and I'm very impressed. The department heads and people that attend those meetings, feedback and the communication and this open discussion, I appreciate that greatly. I can tell that the people really care about the county, they care about the people they work with, and they're trying to do the right thing. So thank you.
With that, we will adjourn the committee meeting.
Yeah. Wow, half hour. I was at a meeting.